You know, the newest installment to Elder Scrolls Online just came out, The Gold Road. And ever since it came out, I have had a couple of comments thrown at me asking, why do I no longer make videos on Elder Scrolls Online? For those of you that do not know, some time ago, I used to make a lot of content on ESO. I was a very big Elder Scrolls Online player. I was also one of the biggest ESO streamers, like having like over 1,000 people watching. I mean, some of the people watching this, we might have done Cyrodiil together or some dungeons, raids, whatever. So I was really big into Elder Scrolls Online, but I stopped. That's right. After hundreds of hours in the game, I finally threw in the towel, and there's been the occasional comment asking why. So I just kind of want to answer that today. But first, we have to thank this video's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Nowadays, fellas, the need to keep your online identity safe is a growing reality. So getting yourself a VPN like the award-winning Surfshark is a must. When activated, Surfshark encrypts your data and swaps the active location of your device with a new one, aka changing your IP address. That way your data is protected and safe while browsing online. This is especially useful if you're somebody like me who uses a lot of public Wi-Fi networks throughout the day, as it is very easy for somebody to potentially steal your information over one of these public networks. The best part though is because Surfshark changes your IP address, you can actually set yourself to be located in one of over 100 countries. What that means is content that might be blocked in your country that you're unable to view, through Surfshark, it will become available to you. And as a pro tip, if you're ever traveling the world, you can even set your IP address back to your home country so that you can stay up to date on all the current news and current events and stuff. Guys, no doubt you've heard of Surfshark. They are all over the internet at this point. High demand for internet privacy, people needing to protect their data. So what are you waiting for? Secure your privacy with Surfshark, and if you enter coupon code NIXIUM, you get an extra 4 months for free. And now let's get back to the video. Now, I will say that I do occasionally go back to ESO to check out, you know, the latest expansion or patch or something if it looks, you know, of interest to me. But I definitely have not been playing the game full time for quite a while. So first of all, I want to establish something. I think that Elder Scrolls Online is a very good MMO. Now, I know there's probably a lot of people watching this video that had the exact same experience with ESO as I did when the game first came out. A lot of us went and checked the game out, and it was kind of garbage, to be fair. Like, it sucked as an MMO, and many of us quit very quickly. I mean, myself included. But years later, thanks to a friend of mine encouraging me and saying, hey, like, you should check out ESO again. You should give it another chance. You know, ZeniMax has really changed up the game over the years. You know, I gave the game another chance. I mean, I got hooked. I mean, I got hundreds of hours on Steam in this MMO now. Like, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't quit ESO because I thought it was a bad MMO. Really, a lot of times when I meet people that they say that they've played ESO recently and they didn't really like it, and you ask them why, usually it's because they thought that ESO was going to be just like World of Warcraft, and they hopped into ESO with this World of Warcraft mentality, and they ended up very disappointed. They don't understand that when you play ESO, you kind of got to play it like a sandbox. I mean, you can go anywhere you want in Quest. I mean, if you started in Morrowind and you're like, man, I don't like Morrowind, I want to go level up in Skyrim, like, okay, go to Skyrim, level up. You know, the world is scaling with you. If you're like, oh, I don't really like the idea of being a dragon knight or something, you know, sword and shield, okay, that's fine. You know, be a dude who uses 2 daggers and you poison people while also healing your allies, and you also got a magic staff as like your offhand weapon, and you're summoning like fireballs and like fire rings and stuff. Like, do whatever you want. It's not like WoW, where it's like you just kind of go from quest to quest to quest and you kind of let the game just guide you along. Like, it's not really what ESO is. I mean, for me, one of my favorite things about ESO when I was playing it is just completely dodging all the quests altogether and just looking for delves. So those are like single player dungeons that you can go and like just play through by yourself that are located in the open world. This should sound very familiar to any of you guys that are World of Warcraft players, because Blizzard is putting delves in the War Within, you know, WoW's new expansion. So totally a ripoff from Elder Scrolls Online. When I gave this game another shot, I mean, it went from, okay, this is all right, to, oh, this is pretty fun, to, I'm going to make some videos about this game, to leading entire like Cyrodiil world PvP events like on Twitch and stuff. I mean, we crowned emperors like on my stream. It was cool, man. Like, there was just, There was just so much to do in the game. There was so much to stream, you know, doing housing competitions. Yes, there's player housing in the game, which is pretty cool and pretty in depth. Like, ESO was a lot of fun. So I'm saying all of this, first of all, to praise the game and to praise ZeniMax and just say that it was a great experience in the time that I played it. But it doesn't really answer the question as to why did I stop playing? And the simple answer to that question, as disappointing as it is to hear, the simple answer is just that I just moved on to just other games. ESO was a game that, yeah, like I put hundreds of hours into it, and I felt like I touched almost every single corner of the game, to the point that I felt like I had done everything that the game had to offer. And the thing is, whenever ESO was putting out new content, new patches, or new expansions, I didn't feel like it was really adding much or adding enough to really capture my interest and bring me back to the game, like permanently, like maybe just to check it out briefly, but definitely not permanently. You know, for example, they would add a new zone to like the game, and there would be delves and some new dungeons and a new raid and so on and so forth. And the thing is, like, I know what it's like to do a delve, and I might not care about the new zone, and I might not care about the new raid. I mean, I've done plenty of raiding in ESO, like I'm good. And since the game and like the world scales around you, you know, I didn't really feel like jumping in and doing that new raid and like, you know, exploring that new zone or whatever really felt like it was really worth it. Also, every time ESO puts out new content, they always tend to add new item sets to the game, like, you know, new set gear that can do different things. But again, because of the scaling, I felt like I had already like made the set that I wanted to make for my main character in Thoriel, and I didn't really feel like that motivation to go out and get more sets that did different things. Like, I played in Thoriel as a poisonous dragon knight that would poison you with attacks and summon poison alligators to attack you and poison you even more. And then I would shoot you down with arrows if you tried to run away. And like that was cool. Like, you know, a warrior, you know, from the Northlands, like summoning crocodiles that are going to poison you with like fiery breath. Like, that's awesome. Like, like, what more do I need? You know, like, oh, this new set allows you to do this. Like, I don't care. I got crocodiles. Like, that's how I felt. I mean, really, the only expansion in ESO that came out that really genuinely like hooked me and like got me really back into the game for a while, not permanently, but it really got me back, was when they introduced the Necromancer. I really love it when they add a new class to the game that you can customize and play with. I loved the fact that the Necromancer had a bit of a roleplay element to it, where if you used like Necromancer abilities in public, you might get arrested by the guards and like charged a fine, because, you know, the average person doesn't like the idea of a corpse being summoned in front of them. I really enjoyed that roleplay element to the game. I thought that was fantastic. Other than that, you know, none of the expansions I feel have had like a big grab factor, at least for me. Nothing that has made me want to like go and replay it again. Like, maybe if they introduce some like crazy new feature to the game, like fighting over like the entire world instead of just Cyrodiil, I don't know. But really, like, there's nothing that's been really that interesting enough to really bring me back as a full-time player like I used to be. I will say, though, that if you are a new player and you're going to check out ESO, dude, just be prepared, because there's a lot of content for you to check out and to explore. I mean, there was a point when I was streaming ESO where I was just committing to 100% completing the game. Like, I was just going to do every quest and get all the gear, like just do everything. I didn't end up doing this because, I mean, I was many years behind, and I knew that, whew, this was going to take a long time. So I admit I gave up. But if you do hop into ESO, whether it's like all the different zones you can explore and level up in, the raids, like the dungeons, the delves, like the item sets, the player housing, like you name it, there's a lot to do in ESO. Like, the game has a lot to offer if you give it a chance, especially PvP, man. If you've never done Cyrodiil PvP, like Cyrodiil PvP is so much fun, especially if you do it with a ton of friends. Like, oh, like I have so many memories. Like, I've got so many memories of doing Cyrodiil PvP, like with you guys. Like, you know, a lot of people watching this right now probably did Cyrodiil with me back in the day, like on Twitch and stuff. And like, dude, that was so much fun. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, I just did all the content. I felt like this new stuff that was coming out wasn't really worth doing because I kind of felt like I had been there, done that. I don't know. I guess I just, I just felt satisfied with the game, and I went and checked out other games, and you know, I went back to playing WoW more and stuff, and maybe one day, you know, ZeniMax, ESO will put out something that'll make me go like, you know, like that's really cool, and I might check it out again and hop back in. But for now, I think my ESO journey is done for now, but that could change. We will see.